Nate, we're off to the kingdom. I'm Re-Reckoning. Nate, you and I checked out a game that came back from the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 days, Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. This, honestly, to me, felt like I was still playing on the PS3. How about you, Nate?
Well, buddy, much like you, man, this game does feel very dated.
Yeah.
There are some absolutely outstanding moments about this game. And,
Absolutely.
you know, features about this game that I believe are better than most games nowadays.
Yeah.
But let's just talk about the pros, man. I think the story in itself is
cool.
Pretty. Yeah, it is really cool. It instantly, in my opinion, kind of captivates you because it starts you off where you're being dragged along and you're this dead guy, and I guess they were whoever you were. Yeah. So you are actually getting tested on. And they ditch your body, and you wake up in a whole pile of dead bodies, and that'll just say you're escaping this building, and these people are like, "Wow, you survived our spell," and you don't even know what's going on. Your memory's gone, and you're just kind of aimlessly trying to escape. And once you finally get out there and kind of get an understanding of what's going on, you are this creature, this anomaly that actually changes the fate of those whose fate's already been written. It's kind of really cool, man. Like, I want to call you like the fate bringer, like there's all these immortals, and the way this game's kind of written is everything that's breeze or comes from dust, they say in the game, has a written path, but you change that, and that is really cool, man.
It's empowering to have this opportunity to kind of go out and set your own fate within the game and the fate of others, right? And that's what the game brings. Kingdoms of Amalur brings that opportunity of you to kind of mess with people if you want to, or you can coincide with them, or you can just leave them alone. There's so many dialogue options, and I think that's really cool when you jump into an RPG like this and you can really get invested. It was just hard to get invested when I felt like I was looking at such an outdated game. Like, this is supposed to be more or less that remastering of the game, and to me, man, the graphics really kind of held me back. But once I was able to kind of get past that, I really started to get into the campaign and start digging into the story. And then I'm talking to this person, and I'm off talking to this person, and then my loot is like loaded, right? And then I gotta go sell my stuff. And then I talked to this one guy, he's like, okay, I've got the Red Legion after me, but in order to get rid of them, I have to kill these other two guys that came with me when we left them. So I set on this quest, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I have the option here. A, I can just leave them alone. B, I can help them out. Or C, just tell them to take a hike, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different opportunities here. So I go out and I set out on this quest. And I run into the next guy, and I get his dagger. So I've got 2 daggers now at this point, Nate. And I need 1 more to go. And I have the opportunity, when I finally run into this guy, I can either kill him, give him the 2 daggers that I already have, or I think I also had the opportunity to maybe just like, you can like almost like sweet talk the guy, right? Like, I'm a female character. So I had this opportunity to maybe just talk to the guy. So I ended up fighting him instead. So I fought him off, took the dagger, and then I'm out to set off to hand them in, right? To free this one captive. But that was a side quest I didn't even have to worry about doing. And it's one of those games that you set out in one direction with one idea in mind, but then you head off in like 3 others. It really kind of gets you wrapped in and entangled in this weaving mess of a world. It's pretty cool, I gotta be honest, man.
It's in some senses handcrafted really well. Like, I think traversing around, it's built really easily, so you can kind of get from point A to point B very quickly. But on the other hand, it just kind of, like you said, man, it just feels dated. It's a little empty. I don't know. You kind of walk around in this big forest area that in some ways looks really good, but on the other hand, it's like, well, there's like 3 wolves here. There's no, like, I don't know, wildlife, and just I don't know. The game just feels very
blown in the wind.
It's just outdated, man. It's kind of got that Fable 3, which is an old game kind of style, which
a good game, but
a very good game. But
sure.
Man, I don't know.
It's just
one thing I must kind of. Yeah, man. I think I maybe would have appreciated if they maybe would have upgraded the graphics with this one, because
absolutely
it's kind of hard recommending it when it just looks so outdated. But on the other hand, if graphics really don't disturb you, then I think the combat and then the story itself will actually drive you forward. Because man, the combat's pretty cool, man. There are a ton of different weapons, spells and skills that you can use, and you know, as you further upgrade your character, you can kind of specialize in certain ways, and it's really expansive in that sense. And the combat, it can be tricky. Like there's difficulty settings, so you have to kind of keep that in mind. You know, I'm playing on a harder difficulty. Wow, this game could be quite challenging. It's almost kind of got that Dark Souls-y parrying, dodging
really
kind of style, but less like that, where you can kind of combo out and destroy things. It's pretty cool, man, I think.
I played on normal. I thought the combat was relatively simplistic, but yet it's satisfying. You know what I mean? I didn't find my dodge always worked when I wanted it to. I think that was my biggest problem too in the combat. When I was fighting off some of these wolves and then I want to get out of the way, when I hit circle, man, it just wasn't moving quick enough for me. So I don't know if that was just a timing thing on my part, but it just wasn't the responsiveness I was looking for with an updated version of the game. Like, we have standards now that just, it wasn't following into some of those footsteps. When you're playing the Division 2, the minute I hit my button to dodge, I'm out, right? Where this one has got this sense of a delay to it, and it takes a little bit longer to kind of get out of the way, man. And then you get into the systems itself, and then you get into your skill tree, and there's so much content.
Oh, man,
but then you're in there, and it just felt a little clunky to kind of maneuver around. It's simple, but I felt it just wasn't intuitive to me when I'm playing the game to actually get in the menus and get easily out of the menus, and where I didn't find that I was always stuck in a menu. Nate, I think we're done reckoning everything. What are you scoring Kingdoms of Amalur or Re-Reckoning?
Well, dude, I must say this game feels slightly outdated, just mostly graphically, man, but the story is absolutely outstanding. The combat is fairly simple, but can be kind of somewhat complicated at the same time. So, man, I'm gonna have to give this one a 6.5, man.
Yeah,
what about you?
It's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it? We're kind of all over the place here. The graphics, I think, were a major hindrance to the game. It would have stepped and elevated the game up to that next level that we really wanted from a remastered of this game. I think it would have been a nice touch. The controls feel a little outdated, but there's so much to upgrade and so much armor to consider and things to do. And you know, I'm out there pickpocketing and picklocketing people and stealing from them and trying not to get caught. And then if I wanted to, you can wipe out the town. Like there's so much content within the game. It's just things you don't think of that are not even in other games that are in this game. And I thought that was so cool. But yeah, unfortunately, man, the game overall just feels outdated, and because of that, I'm there with the 6.5 as well.
We might have been victorious, but the Fae are creatures of magic. Not
pretty decent, but hindered truly by its graphic fidelity.
Each two alpha fallen on the battlefield would soon rise again, for the Fae do not know death as we do. How could we stand against such a force? For 10 years the war raged. For 10 years the armies of men and Alpha fought and died. But as our numbers dwindled, we knew that it was only a matter of time. Our fate had been written. At least, that is what we believed. Until you died.